a lot of the players seem very happy. They talk about hanging out with each other outside the court. They all want to see each other do very well. Do you think you've played any part in creating this great environment in which they all want to uplift each other?
I think we play a part in trying to recruit guys that fit at Purdue. I think if you can have, those common values in terms of, wanting to get your education, wanting to play to get a championship and compete for a championship. I think when you do that and your passion is basketball, I think those things kind of organically just happen. If you get a lot of guys, it doesn't mean you can't have, different likes, but your passion's got to be basketball, and you got to understand the big picture at Purdue. So I think that just kind of makes it easy then.
Going into Portland, your message to the team was get the ball to Edey.
Right.
Today he gets 24 shots. Where does this team come from there now just to get him the ball and his ability to obviously 38 and 13 tonight?
Right. Every game's different. When people play him more one-on-one, he's going to get more attempts. When they double him more, he's going to get less attempts. The thing that he's been able to do is when they take things away, he can still get on the glass. And so he's creating opportunities for himself with his effort and his ability to rebound. But, you would like to have more of a balance at times. But when you get against really good teams, if you find something that works now while you're trying to balance things out, like why go away from it? So we've always kind of been that way. Once something works and, he's so unselfish. He plays the game, and maybe the best stat is the 0 turnovers. His ability to throw him the ball and his ability to make a good decision. And when you deal with great players, they should have the right of first refusal. It doesn't mean they have to shoot the basketball, but they need to touch the basketball. And now everybody is on alert, and that helps your spacing. It helps, them get into rotations at times when they overdo it. And then obviously you're going to get them into foul trouble and get to the free throw line.
Hey, Matt, I asked Coach Izzo about you and your program, both you guys following legends as you came into college. But what's it like for you seeing him on the sidelines? I mean, both of you guys are just so great for the game, but what's it like to see him still coaching at the highest level, and you guys fight on the court, but, after, your friends, but what's he mean to the game?
Yeah, he means a lot to the game. I think, we haven't accomplished what they've accomplished. Like, don't get confused. Like, even though we might win this game or win that game, like we haven't won the Big Ten championships. We haven't been to a Final Four. So, like, he sets the bar for our league, and that competition has really improved our program. Anytime, and I think, 30 years ago, I think you would say the same thing about, Indiana's program with Bob Knight and Purdue's program with Gene Cady and Michigan State's program with Judd Heathcote. And a lot of the programs, Lou Henson in Illinois, that competition made everybody better. And that's what Michigan State and Tom Izzo's done for us. They've made us better. Their level of toughness, their togetherness. You just don't slip on a banana peel and end up in 8 Final Fours. You just don't. And they've been absolutely fabulous on a conference level, but they've also been, fabulous at a national level. And that's what we would like to try to do, but it's easier said than done. We got to keep working.
Matt, difference with David Jenkins the last 2 games is what?
He's gotten more opportunities. He's made his shots. It's really hard for him to adjust to this role since he's never played this role. And like a lot of our guys off the bench, we've seen some ups and downs. And, my statement to that is you're never going to have consistent play with inconsistent minutes. It's really hard. Like tonight, when you get 18, 19 minutes, that's a lot of minutes compared to getting 5 to 12. He stepped up and knocked down shots. He can really, when he gets it going, man, he can really make plays right there. But when Newman makes shots and Mason can come off the bench and make shots and he can make shots, the issue is they just don't get a lot of opportunities. What we don't want is the force, right? Just let your offense run organically, move the basketball. It comes your way, great, because, you have him in there. If they're not taking that away, there's no sense in rushing things. Be able to get some of those step-in shots, and he was able to make a couple of those tonight.
So Zach gets 30. Oh.
Go ahead.
So Zach gets 37, but I thought the moment in the game where he really made as big a difference as any was when they start coming at him with hard doubles and he hits Ethan for the layup and he hits, I think, David for a three. Just that speaks volumes about how far he's come as a player, doesn't it?
Yeah, no question. He got Brandon Newman for one in the first half, and we missed it. Ethan made a good dive. He got him for that one. Just taking what they give you. Like, don't, he split a couple double teams and scored. He split a couple double teams and didn't score. And sometimes those splits, as long as he's going to a strong hand, can be okay. The other way is a little bit harder for him. But just opening it up, especially on the right side, and seeing everything. It's easier for, on that left block, if you're looking at it from the top of the key, for a right-handed guy to go over his left shoulder and make those passes. But when you're on the other block, going the other way, making those passes, you got to open up so you see everything, and that makes it much easier.
More on Zach. Defensively, he makes winning plays too. They tried to ISO Hauser on the guards or in the post, and he had two really nice deflections that really kind of set Michigan State away from what they were trying to do.
Yes.
It's nice when you have a big-time scorer who also is willing to do those things as well as the assists, correct?
Yeah, he came on that double, and, Hauser's good at that dribble down. And so when he got into that, we wanted to come on that double, but making sure everybody else is alert. It's not just the double. You got to be good in your rotation. And, he got both of those deflections that led to steals, out of that double. And that's pretty impressive for a 7'4" guy to come into that double. And one of them was low. So, you go high with your hands, and then they move the ball to pass, and he moved his hand to follow and got that deflection. So, yeah, he's really improved on the defensive end. I think anytime people stereotypically evaluate him, they're like, well, he stinks in ball screen defense. He used to stink in ball screen defense. He doesn't anymore. And so, but he still has trouble out in space a little bit with those quick guys right there. But that's more of a team thing. We got to be able to crowd some space and help him a little bit so those guys can't work him downhill.
Matt, part of a team's development of players is getting acclimated to their roles. Is it possible that a team gets acclimated to its role as being ranked number one and all the stuff that comes with it? And is that happening here in a way?
I don't know if it's I hope it's happening. It is. You got to show some discipline and not listen to what people say, because like success messes with you more than failure. Failure always, just corrects you. You're just, you realize that you lost by a basket. Now everything you did wrong gets magnified. You win by a basket. You don't magnify those things. And that's why coaches do. That's why people think coaches are crazy, because now you've won a game and you've made mistakes and you're on them about stuff because one or more of those mistakes could have led to that loss. But you don't digest it that way, and fans don't digest it that way. We can do everything the same and be one possession less, and then all of a sudden they'll ask you, what's your problem? If you can take that noise and take that rhetoric out of your thinking and just worry about what people say in your locker room, you're going to be more successful, you're going to have that good headspace, and you're going to have more fun. If you're always trying to please people that really don't exist and you don't know, like that gets to be really hard. Like, you still have to have, the last thing I wrote on the board was, give the fans something to cheer about, but have fun with it. Like, have fun. And the more you can do your job, the more you can have fun. Sometimes people think having fun's, acting crazy and taking bad shots and just doing whatever you want. Like, that's a losing mentality. It's not about that. It's about doing the right things, sticking together, but also, embracing the moment. Like, that's a fun environment there. But you got to play well.
Matt, you took Zach out for one free throw, put him back in. Was there a push to get him 40 points tonight, or was there some reason?
No, there wasn't.
And then,
I was taking him out because I thought they went small, which I did earlier in the game with Malik and Joey Hauser as their 4 and 5, and so that's what I was doing there. And then I made a mistake, and Cooper stayed in, and so then I put him back in there. So.
And then, secondly, the last 8 games since the Rutgers game, you're shooting almost 40% from 3. Is it more than just water finding its level, or the guys getting in the gym and getting more shots up? What's been the key to the better outside shooting?
I think water finding its level and just the opportunities. You're getting certain opportunities for certain teams, depending on whether they double or they don't. Because I think we have a very unselfish team. But, you're going to go play certain teams, and they're just going to take away your threes. Then you're going to play the next team, and they're just going to double him every time and take him away. It just depends on what comes. But no matter what they do, like, you can still have good ball control and take good shots.
After the Maryland game, you emphasized just working on the basics, passing and catching. Tonight with 21 total assists, what did you kind of see from your team in terms of sharing the ball?
Yeah, just making the simple plays. And like, that's what you want. Like, don't reinvent, what we're trying to do here. Just like, make easy plays, pass the ball, share the basketball. You get two people on, you get them in rotations and get that basketball moving. And I think our guys have done a good job with that. And the guy who's gotten the ball the most, Braden has the ball probably the second most as our point guard. He has 1 assist tonight and Zach has 0. And so it sets the table. You can't beat yourself. And our guys have done a really good job with that.
And then you talked about David Jenkins Jr. obviously having a night tonight, but also Trey Kaufman-Wren just seemed like he was a little bit more on aggressive on offense. What did you
Right.
kind of see from him?
Yeah, just trying to get him the ball in the low post. And it's hard because a lot of times, I'm not taking him out, I'm putting Zach back in. You don't look at it when you're the one being taken out, right? But he's kept a great attitude. He understands. I tried to get him to go in there at the end, and he was the one that said, no, let's get him to get 40 points. And I'm like, no, you got to go in. The day's over. The day's over. So.
Second time you played Michigan State in a relatively short amount of time. How do you feel like your team responded to your points of emphasis compared to that game to this one?
Yeah, well, they're a tough team, and I thought our ability to rebound was huge. I thought even at their place, they had some careless turnovers to start the game, and they did again. And so, like, that's something when you get on the road, like, setting the tone, you got to take care of the basketball, and I thought our guys did a good job of having active hands. You look at things in different perspective. He would look at it differently than I would look at it. I'm giving credit to our defense where he's, thinking they're being careless, which we all do it that way. So I think that's the key. We make a play at the end of the game, so I guess we're better than them there, right? And it could have went the other way very easily. So like tonight, we were able to get that lead and keep that lead. And even though they come back and they cut it to 10, I think one time, it takes a lot of energy to come back. They were very good in the second half in transition. You see how, talented Hogard is when he gets ahead of steam and starts wheeling and dealing, got to the free throw line, broke us down, and that's what we wanted to stop. But, we really did the same thing. We did a little bit different in ball screen D. We switched some of those snakes the first time, and, Tyson Walker made us pay, and we didn't switch them this time unless they got deep with it. So that was really about our only adjustment. We just wanted to be able to out-rebound them and have fewer turnovers, and we did.